Hi Fuller friends, it's Mrs. Light, 5th grade teacher at Fuller Elementary, and I am excited to read you one of my very favorite books. I know some of you are familiar with the story of the three pigs. Well, this is the true story of the three little pigs. And the reason why it's one of my favorites is because it's written by A. Wolfe. And now the Wolfe told the story to Jon Scieszka, who wrote this book, and the illustrations are by Lane Smith, and they're very good illustrations, and hopefully during the story I might share some of them with you because they're really good. All right, so I'll get my glasses on so I can actually read it. I see the title page, dedication. Here we go. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do, but I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody's ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf. Alexander T. Wolfe. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. Look at what's in his burger. I see some ears. I think that's a mouse. But, like I was saying, this whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. I can see his grandma in the background here. Look what's in his mixing bowl. Yikes. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. And I didn't want to just walk into somebody else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. Well, I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. Oh, that's when my nose started to itch, and I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig. Dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it. Think of it as a big cheeseburger lying there. Well, I was feeling better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. Well, I rang the doorbell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And he yelled back, "Go away, Wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." Well, I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. And when the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old Granny's birthday cake, so I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old Granny's birthday cake. What a pig. Well, I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old Granny can sit on a pin." Look how mean that pig is. Wow. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my Granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest is history. See, it's even in the newspapers. The news reporters found out about the two pigs that I had for dinner, and they figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't exactly sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, and if you heard noises in the background, I think it was my German Shepherd dog Kona that was whining a little bit. Have a good day, Fuller Falcons. See you soon.